Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Noodles. We're on CTV. I got a special guest with me, the one and only from the commission, C.
What's up,
What's good, man?
What's up? What's going
How
on?
are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, for anyone that maybe doesn't know who the commission is, maybe let the world know.
Okay. Well, the commission, hip hop collective from everywhere, really, but based right here in Staten Island, in Mariners Harbor, and videographers, rappers, singers, songwriters, just a collection of creatives.
And I've been seeing you guys. Every time I open up the Advance, I see you guys in the off section, almost like every other month. It's coming a constant thing.
Right.
So it's been good to see you guys grind, and a lot's been happening over the last year.
Definitely.
Maybe let's go back a little bit. How did you even get into music?
So like, I grew up in a family that like was in the church a lot. My mother was a local gospel singer, so like growing up, always hearing her sing. I don't know, it's just something I kind of like latched on to around that time. I wrote my first song when I was like 6.
Nice.
And did a talent show like at school or whatever. And for a long time, I was just kind of like writing, and no one knew. After that, my cousin put me on to like, the Mobb Deeps and like Cash Money, No Limit. I can remember being like 6 and 7 and saying, "Oh, they're saying bad words."
Wow.
So, like he put me on to a lot of that stuff. My aunts and they like used to buy me like the edited versions. So I always been like just into music, but like I was just kind of like writing in a notebook. Like when I'm supposed to be taking notes at in class, I'm just kind of writing, or like at home, I'm like in my room writing, and then like my mom's like found my rhyme books like and was like mad, but like she grew to like kind of like support it after a while.
Really?
Yeah, I was telling her like I wanted to rap, and she was like, she wasn't really with it. And then after a while, her and my pops, they just kind of like really embraced it, and so I just been doing it ever since, man. I just kind of, at first it was just like a hobby, I guess, and then after a while, like once I was in high school, it was like ciphers in the lunchroom, in the courtyard outside the cafeteria, like just after school, everybody's at my crib. It's like 8-9 people in my mom's basement. So it's just like it's just always been there, man, for the longest time. And I just, as I got older, I just started taking it more and more serious. So yeah,
That's so cool. When was that point where your mom accepted it? Was it like, did you have to finish school? Did you put out a project? Did you see you on stage? Like, was there one thing that kind of put it over? Or was it the build up?
I don't know. Like, I think after she seen, like, I wasn't going to, like, I stopped for a while. So, like, I was writing. She kind of was a little mad. She was mad about the rhyme books, and like, it wasn't the best. I wasn't saying the best things. I hadn't heard anything but what I was listening to.
Yeah.
So I'm emulating that, and I don't know. I guess I put out a project as like, and just like ran up and down the halls handing it out, and I think she could kind of see that like I was really serious about it. Like, I really wanted to do this, and she kind of accepted it a little more. And then like once I got out of school and it wasn't a phase, it was like I was like grown and still rapping. I think she was like, okay, this is really what he wants to do. And I was getting better too, so I think she could kind of see like the growth. Some of the stuff I'm talking about. I'm talking about things going on in my community, things that I seen growing up, and I think that made it easier to embrace. Definitely, just subject matter and just how serious as I was about it. I think that made it easier to embrace. So yeah.
I hear that often because a lot of people will get into hip hop and then there's always this negative stereotype to it because the stuff that we sometimes hear on the radio or the things that are pushed more kind of have this bad influence vibe. So I could see why a parent may be like, "What's going on? Like, not my little son." I'm not little C.
The whole way through school, I'm like super honor roll, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the paper for like at one point I was working like as a page for like the state legislature, so I'm in the paper for that. I'm like student of the month like every month, like so like I'm just like in books. What is it? Like I've just had a really good memory. You know what I'm saying? Like so when people think I'm taking notes, I'm in class like writing raps. Like to the point where like my senior year in school, I was taking classes at the community college. So I would like go to school like the whole day up until like 2, like maybe not 2, maybe like 1 something. And I would leave and go to the community college. So like I'm in like community college, like I'm taking like Calc 2 or whatever, and like instead of like taking notes on like series and integrals or whatever it is, I'm like writing raps, like so I knew this wasn't going anywhere. Like I'm literally like I got my foot in college and I'm still like I can't think of anything else other than just I'm rapping. So you know, like yeah, she definitely. I think my pops felt that way too. Like the negative connotation that comes with being a rapper and you know being involved in like the hip hop lifestyle. Yeah, I could definitely see why that would worry a parent. You know, as a grown man, I could see why that would worry a parent. I definitely understand it. So. But like I said, I think once she heard this, like when I found myself and found my own and what I wanted to talk about, I think it made it a little easier to accept. So yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. Yeah, because I think I always say I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. Because people always be like, Dave, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do this and. I'm like, all right, you don't even have to tell me. Just just go up there. And then I think parents, I'm not a parent, but I know they want to see it too. They want to see proof of concept.
Right.
You want to be a scientist, like, bring me back a fossil.
Right.
You know, so the fact that you were manifesting what you were saying you were going to do, and then kind of, I'm sure maybe your mom, because I know she's from like a Christian background, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, and from the South.
So
you know, her and my pops is real traditional. They're both from Christian. Well, they're both from Christian backgrounds. He's from Southern Baptist. So you know what I'm saying. So they could, like traditional backgrounds. Yeah, like it definitely was something different to accept.
Do they have a favorite song of yours?
My mom's likes Tell Me.
Okay.
A lot. Like that is her song,
really?
Man. Like she'll be on the phone with me in the middle of the day and like she'll just bust out singing the chorus. She loves Tell Me, man.
How's it go? Do your chain hang low?
Yeah, dude, chain hang low. Like she's singing it all the time. Your chain hang low, there's money on your mind. Like, she loves that song, man. My pops, I don't ever hear him like singing it. I just know he knows it, I just know he knows it's there.
Got it.
But my mom's like, she's vocal about it. Like she really liked The World Is Mine from the last project.
Got it.
Yeah, man, she's into it. She likes Elevating from the group project. Yeah, she got a lot of favorites, man. Like I said, she's definitely, like they're both like definitely like really into it, and at this point, and it's like you said, it's just seeing how much it meant to me. I think that's what made it change. So.
And here you are also getting straight A's. Like a lot of the time, people would give up everything to do something. So I think for anyone, any kid out there, anyone just with a dream, like you know, keep that success in your back pocket too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, school isn't always that, but proving that you were able to stay balanced. Like,
Right.
all right, I got this done. Now I have time for my thing that matters to me. You know what I mean? So I always tell kids, like, crush it at school, and you'll get, everyone will want to give you everything.
That's the fact.
You know what I mean? And people won't doubt you as much. But if you're like failing this and missing this to do this, people are going to second guess you. But like if you're able to, of course it's tough managing different things, but it's like life. You got a job, got a relationship, but then you have that thing that keeps you up at night, and it's like the night may be the only time you get to do it. Right. And if not, then you don't do it. So it's like, it's just management.
Time management, yeah. Definitely. You know, a lot of, like, and it's funny you say that, like, I used school to, like, push the dream. Like, that's really, you know, like, the first people that heard about me as far as, like, rapping was school. Like, I would be at school, like, peddling the tapes. Like, I like, my senior year, like, I just was, like, selling mixtapes, yo. Like, this was when the CD, people still listened to it. But, like, and, I came up with the idea, like, yo, I'm gonna go to New York and, like, blow up. It hasn't happened yet, but, like, I came up with that idea just solely off of, like, thinking, like, man, there are 8 million people in Virginia. There are 8 million people in just New York City. So I might have a better chance to, like, getting people to listen there. So I was like, yo, I'm just gonna apply to schools in New York, and, like, you know, I applied to, like, a couple schools in Virginia, but, like, I was like, yo, it's gonna work. I'm gonna apply to schools in New York, and, like, whichever one accepts me and, like, I get the best financial aid, I'm going. So, and that's what happened. Like, I, like, literally, like, top of the year, I get my acceptance letters, and, like, I get a New York school, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going. Like, we're going to New York now. So it's like, yeah, man, it's all about that, like, figuring out that balance and figuring out, like, just kind of how to make it. We all got the same 24, right? So, you know, you can't really sit around and complain about, oh, I'm here in this small city where there's little to no people. Like you say, you know, like you say, like, okay, well, how could I, like, make this change? Like, how could I change my reality? And it just so happened that, you know, school helped me change that.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So you're in school. What school is this?
Oh, I was going to St. John's.
So you're in St. John's.
Yeah.
And how did maybe you and the commission kind of link up? Was that in school? Was that out of school?
Yeah. So we were actually a part. Well, me and a couple of members of the commission were a part of a different collective.
Got it.
And that didn't work out. And as, like, my last semester, like, going into my last semester, that wasn't working out, and it, you know, egos and stuff like that. And Buddha, who I had met my freshman year, and we had become really good friends. He had transferred out of St. John's, and he was going back and forth between his hometown Baltimore and Staten Island. And so him and then my childhood friend, Breeze, you know, we're kind of just sending records through the email.
Got it.
And I'm like, yo, we got to have a name, because, like, we can't keep putting, like, 12 names on the, you know what I'm saying, on the songs. Like, we need something. And Breeze was like, yo, we should just call ourselves the Commission. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, that's cool. We'll do that. And you know, I knew Dot from the previous situation. I knew Jamie from going to school with him. You know, Drew the character, I went to school with him. You know, just everybody that's, like, kind of in the situation I either met from the previous collective that was also started while we were on campus, or I met from being in class or playing ball or whatever, you know. And yeah, we just all kind of clicked, man. We just like, yo, at that point, we weren't really that confident to try to do it by ourselves, and we knew that like this couldn't be done like alone. Like if we were trying to make it as far as music goes, we couldn't do it alone. So we kind of like just banded together and created this like support system. And so now every time I drop, at least I got 6, 7, 8 shares. You know, so it was kind of that. Yeah, like it was kind of that. Like we just gonna, I look out for you, you look out for me, and yeah, we just kind of built the brotherhood off of it. Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. I think that's so important because when you're following a dream or you have a goal, and sometimes you come home and you have no one to talk to,
right?
Because maybe no one's on the same page as you, or everyone's involved with this, and you're doing this thing, and so I think just to have someone that you could talk to about something, regardless if they give you the right answer or not,
right?
Them just being there, I feel, is the answer. You know what I mean? Like just having people that you could be like, I don't know what happened. My song got 5 plays, or wow, we got to 10,000 plays. Whatever it was, whatever the goal is.
Yeah, or
just
like,
having those people to kind of help each other is just so important.
Even like, I'm at bar 12. I need 4 more bars. I can't. I'm stressed out about these 4 bars, and like somebody being able to understand why those 4 bars are important.
Exactly.
Whatever. Like, I need a new hook. This chorus ain't working. Or listen to this. Like that too. Like that was just a really big thing to be able to like sit in a crib, and it's like 8 of us or 6 of us or whoever's at the house at the time, and like say like, listen to this, and like hit play, and like you see, no, that ain't working. Like that means a lot, man. That means a lot to just kind of get that, that second opinion, or third, or fourth, or fifth, or whatever it is. So, yeah,
that's amazing. So just going to finish school, you're going through a lot. I know you just dropped a project not too long ago. What was the name of that one?
Black Truck Pimp.
The one before that?
Before that, Hennessy and Grape Juice.
Hennessy and Grape Juice.
Yeah.
So that went over pretty well.
Right.
It got a lot of people hype.
Right.
You kept the buzz going, and then here we are today, fresh off the release of Black Truck Pimpin'.
Right.
How did that even come about? Like, how do you even think of Black Truck Pimpin'?
I was done with Hennessy and Grape Juice, and I'm pushing it. At the time, I'm like, I'm not in the right mindset, and at some point, I kind of like, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I'm doing shows, but I'm just not in the right mindset at the time. There's a lot going on, just personally, and then like with my family and stuff. So, at that time, like I'm just like, whatever. So I'm writing new songs. Like I'm not even performing. I'm not even trying to like perform in new places or like just do anything new with the body of work I had, which was a great body of work in my opinion. But so I'm writing new songs, and I wrote like 5 or 6 songs in like a 2 or 3 day period on the train going to work. Like I'm dreading going to work, and I'm just writing these songs. And I wrote Black Truck Pimpin', the song, right? And so the song is about, in my hometown, like one of the, like I think it might be the most, like the highest, like the criminal activity, like one of the crimes that's done the most in my hometown is B&Es, breaking and entering. So I grew up with like a lot of like jack boys, a lot of guys that like they be at school with like chains on or whatever because they just hit like 3 or 4 licks in the past week, So I make that song based off of that. Like, I know a bunch of guys they doing some illegal stuff because like they really don't feel like there are any other options, and so you might think like, oh, this guy broke in to someone's house, he's a monster, he's and you don't know, like he might have broken to that person's house because he's at his breaking point. He really don't know how to get money at this point, and his child might be hungry. You know, his bills might be due. He might be hungry. He might be about to get evicted. Like we really don't know. And so I wanted to kind of cover that negative, positive, negative kind of thing in the song. And that became the entire idea of the project. It's like, yo, what if like I take in detail these different point of views, like, and talk about things that you might see as a negative, as a positive, or things that you might see as a positive, as a negative, coming from, you know, different people's standpoints. Like, there is a huge gray area, and as I get older, the gray area gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I wanted to kind of touch on that. And you know, at the time I was in a black truck and up and down 95 like all the time, and you know, I was getting pulled over a lot because I'm in a big black SUV, and so there's a negative connotation with that. And so they don't know who I am when I'm sitting in the car. They just know, yo, he got the dark tints, you know, he's got dreads. At the time I had the dreads. Like, they don't really know, so they already have a negative connotation of who I might be. And so I was like, wow, you know, let me take and use that, like, as the muse. And then, you know, the word pimp, man, like, it's got a negative connotation, but like, growing up, we would say like, "What's up, pimp?" Or, you know, like, that was just something regular. You know, we would hear it in all the rap songs, and, you know, we would walk like you would think a pimp would walk, and like all of these different things. And I was like, yo, that is essentially what I'm doing right now. Is I'm pimping this black truck. You know, I'm taking and exploiting all of the knowledge that I've gained riding up and down I-95 and turning it into music. And so I was like, okay, cool, Black Truck Pimpin'. That's that's the name of the project. And cool. And yeah, man, and it came, you know, and it came together like that. And I don't know how, like, I managed to try to stay like on that topic for the duration of the tape, but, you know, that's just how it came together. I just wanted to cover that. So yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of tracks that really stood out to me. Of course, you know, you started off, I think you started off with Black Truck Pimpin', of course.
Yeah, right after the intro, yeah.
Yeah, right after the intro, and then you go into like Flex, which I thought was like just, it just has that vibe of just like doing your thing, having fun.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but being serious about what you do.
Right.
And but then you kind of cut into Crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could kind of give me a little back story of where that one came from.
Word. So, man, like, there's a part of like the community that feels like if you got it, that's a spot I can't get now, and I feel that a lot. I kind of placed it there because like Flex was about like going home and like being around people and like, you know, feeling different, feeling that people are looking at you different because you're not at home, and because maybe they might think that you're like in New York, like living it up, not knowing that like you in New York and you mad broke, you know what I'm saying, and you eating like Little Caesars every night. They don't know that, right? And then kind of like Tell Me is kind of like from that as well, where it's like, you know, people want to, some people don't think that you're working hard until they see, oh, he's driving a car, he's doing it. And so I kind of played off that and went into Crabs, where it's like, okay, a lot of what I'm talking about in Flex and Tell Me is because of that mentality. Because like, you know, it's a lot of people in our community that feel like, because he got it, I can't get it now. Or, well, why should he get it and I don't have it? And, you know, I truly believe that like we all can do anything. Like, you know, like anything we want to do, anything like we put our mind to. But some people don't feel that way. Some people feel like, you know, some people feel like you were given that. You didn't earn that. You know, you like, and so like for instance, like this guy I went to school with, he ended up going to the NFL, and I remember him getting drafted. I remember going home 2 weeks later from college after watching him on the draft. I remember he went and bought a new truck. He pulled up to a black truck, I believe. He pulled up to Buffalo's. We all hung out at Buffalo Wild Wings at the time. And I can remember like being in the lobby waiting to be seated. And like the hate, like just, man, he not even that good. Or, you know, like, I heard he got a new baby mama too. And this, like, just the hate, like of people seeing him be successful. People that played football with him, that went to school with him, that grew up with him, they just could not stand to see him being successful. You know, and like I grew up like seeing that a lot. And so that kind of just inspired the song. It was like, you know, you're looking at this success a certain way, but like I'm gonna tell you how it really is, how I really feel to like be in this space where it's like people don't like you because you're working hard and because like you finally starting to do something.
Yeah.
You're finally starting to see something, see some sort of like benefit from all the hard work, and that's just kind of where that came from.
That's real. Yeah, I feel the world's big enough for us all to eat, for us all to win.
Everybody eats, B.
You just gotta really be like you were talking about earlier. How you lost a lot. You know, you don't get much sleep because you've had these goals, and then you're trying to hit other goals, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna give up a couple hours of sleep just so I could hit that extra hour. I could spend more time with the people that matter, and I could spend time doing what I do.
Right.
To feed the stereos too.
Right.
Out there.
Right.
And giving people something to vibe to. And yeah, the album, it just, for anyone who didn't hear it yet, I would highly suggest check out Black Truck Pimpin', because you just, you know, it's not all flex, that whole album. It's like hunger, flexing, you know, victory, love. Yeah. So there's a lot of different pain and power points in those moments. So so it was cool to kind of, because you know we chatted up a lot, but that album gave me a deeper look into your vibe, and yeah. So if anyone's out there, I highly recommend checking it out.
I appreciate that. Definitely, like, you know, hopefully streaming services soon.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, everything should be moving and grooving.
Should be all on streaming services, and you can listen to it and not have to go to SoundCloud and make a profile.
But so maybe, you know, anyone kind of going through that pain of, you know, maybe they're trying to get to that point, and maybe their community maybe is giving them a hard time, or just maybe no one believes in them, or maybe they don't even believe in themselves. So what would you kind of tell them in like a tweet or two to kind of get them back on their feet?
Man, just like encourage yourself, I guess. Like, no one's gonna, if you don't believe in yourself, like, no one's gonna believe in you. I don't think, you know, like, if you don't have that confidence in yourself, it's, you know, even if there are people that are confident in you, you won't even be able to recognize it if you don't. So, you know, you gotta be your number one supporter, and your number one point person, your number one big up yes man, like, and then you'll start to see other people support you as well. Definitely, that's what I would say. That's real. Right. That's real. So you know, as I was saying, make sure to check out Black Truck Pimpin' by the one and only C. Where could they find you on social? Everywhere at Cee434. Nice. Like the area code in Virginia. Yeah. Exactly. So, as always, it's your boy Dave Noodles. We're here rocking with C of the Commission. Don't stop dreaming, guys.